Hey everyone, you're listening to Party Time, My Golf Story with Kevin Walsh and whatever special guest he has today. You can check me out on episode 9 of the podcast. Today I'm wearing Grayson clothes while I'm out practicing because I believe in look good, play good. And follow me on Instagram, Sophia Warren Golf, and hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
It's Party Time, My Golf Story, brought to you by Party Drinks. Classically designed golf drinks for golfers by golfers. And the golf real estate pros Gene Walsh and Vince Visicaro. For your Southwest Florida real estate needs, check them out at suncoastdreams.com. Now here's your host, Kevin Walsh.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the program. We have a golf fitness trainer who is working with some very good golf professionals, some people that you know about. And if you live in the Florida Suncoast area, especially around Venice, Nokomis, and Sarasota, perhaps you've come across the name Hosey. Tyler Hosey is our guest. Fitness is a huge part of his life, but then again, so is golf. His father is a golf professional. I mean, he grew up in the business unlike anybody else, but now he's doing his own thing in golf, professional golf. But at the core of it all, he is just a guy that loves fitness and wants to share with everybody how we can play better golf by improving our fitness, but doing it in a specific way. Yeah. So Tyler is our guest here. Before we go any further, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, would you please do so? Why do I say that at the beginning of every podcast? It's because it matters. The numbers matter to our title sponsors. They also matter to the nerds at YouTube, at Spotify, at Apple, everything else. And in addition to subscribing, if you haven't done it yet, would you also leave some comments and give a 5-star rating? Because that helps as well. That's important stuff. Big thanks to our title sponsors, Party Drinks. If you're tired of beer on the golf course, if you're tired of some of those nasty hard seltzers or malt-based things that masquerade as something refreshing on the golf course, get the real stuff. Go to the Holy Grail, drink the sweet nectar that is Party. Made for golfers, by golfers, transfusion, far and away, number one. Now, if you have it at your place where you play golf, then you know how good it is. But if you don't have it and you want to get it, talk to the beverage staff and tell them to get in contact with Paradise Craft Distributors, the exclusive distributor of Party across the state of Florida. And a big thanks to the golf real estate pros of Vince Visicaro and Gene Walsh from suncoastdreams.com, a division of Fine Properties. If your dream is to live in a golf resort community like Lakewood National Golf Club, where this podcast originates from, Vince and Gene have you covered. It is a buyer's market. So if you're close to the dream, maybe start that a little bit early. It's a good time to be in the market for golf real estate right now on the buyer's end of things. All right, so that's the housekeeping stuff. Let's bring the man of the hour. There he is, Tyler Hosey, with an incredible equipment setup, a microphone far better than mine.
Thank you.
Headphones going on and everything. But you're kind of a podcast pro. You're kind of a techie guy, aren't you, Tyler?
Yeah, I've dabbled. So I built some PCs back in the day. I kind of grew up in that time frame where gaming was kind of the popping up thing. So yeah, kind of delved into this when I was doing the bachelor's and master's, getting the PC set up and so forth for actually run statistical softwares for some of the master's level stats programs that we were running. So yeah, you kind of had to have the juicy computers for those kinds of things. And yeah.
You got the good stuff. I tell you what, that is, well, maybe Tom Coyne might have a little competition for you. He's got the in-home studio built. I mean, I just got a bookcase filled with Party back. That's a product.
Do you need any more than that, though?
I guess not. No.
Party? I mean, are you kidding me?
Let's party. Let's party with that stuff. And well, let's. Can I ask? Is the baby down? We had to get the baby down.
Down, so I sometimes I get a little amped up. I may even get a text from the wife saying tone it down. So
okay, and can I assume you got your workout in today?
I did get my workout in today. Yeah, we today. Let's see, we trained actually around that 4:00 mark. Snuck it in at the back end of the day. Used actually, I think we talked about this off camera, but tidal tanks is something I've been messing around with a little bit lately, and it's a it's a piece of equipment that allows you to train stability with water in a tube. And essentially this water is constantly oscillating. And so it really causes those stabilizer muscles to have to kick in.
Oh, holy smokes.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Yeah, because it's always moving and everything. So you can't get real comfortable with it. You got to be on the mark. Tyler Hosey is our guest here. He is a golf fitness trainer. He grew up in the golf industry in the greater Sarasota area. So tell me the backstory before we get into the fitness end of things. Who's your dad and what was your jumping in point to golf? I know it was at a very young age, probably when you were still in diapers.
Yeah. So my dad's actually the head golf professional down at Calusa Lakes Golf and Country Club down in Nokomis, Florida. He's been part of the Southwest Florida chapter PGA for over 30 years now, which is actually wild to say that out loud. I had to put 2 and 2 together there. So I grew up down in Venice area, played golf pretty much my whole life. As you mentioned, basically from diapers on up. I had the Fisher Price play set where, you're just kind of hitting shots around the house and, just try not to get in too much trouble slinging the golf ball around the house. So, grew up there playing golf, and he was just kind of really behind the scenes. He wasn't necessarily always on me about it. It was something where he let me kind of find the passion as life went on. And, indirectly, I was just always associated with it. I, even in my summer times when I had time off, I would really be out at the golf course, because childcare, that kind of thing. So my dad would just, bring me to the golf course. I'd stay in the back where all the, the golf balls in the storage area was. And I would, set up a little gaming station back there. So I'd play some games throughout the day. But I mean, I was on the golf course probably, I would say 8 hours a day minimum, growing up.
Is there any job at the golf course that you haven't done? I know you were a starter for a long time, but I'm sure you picked a range, washed golf balls. I mean, you tell me.
Yeah, great one. Yes, I think I've actually done everything. I've had the opportunity to be on all ends of the golf course. So that was a really cool opportunity growing up just to be around the game. So yeah, I was a starter, open the cart barn. So get the carts out, get those set up for all the tee times. So that was just kind of the cart barn management, if you will, there. Did play starter role as well. So actually quite literally making sure everybody's teeing off at the right time, getting the tee time set up, making sure you're really getting people off to the right start in the day too, so kind of a diffuser at times, if you will, as a starter. And then actually ran some maintenance crew in the summer. I finished up high school and wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do yet. I knew I loved fitness, but I didn't know what that looked like. I wasn't sure exactly how to chase that dream at a professional level yet. So my dad said, well, you know what, we're not gonna kick rocks. We're actually going to work. And so he said, I'm going to make sure that this kid figures it out real quick. So I ran the maintenance crew for an entire summer. And I personally think he talked to the maintenance crew and said, give him absolutely the hardest jobs. And so I was weed whacking the lake banks and digging ditches, you name it. So I was out there when anything was not fun that was labor intensive. Papa Bear put a good word in to get me working. So
well, I mean, I like that. I like people that are willing to get their hands dirty, and maybe if they need a little help or a little forcing, get their hands dirty, because in the end you appreciate the value of hard work, and you can identify, all right, this is how the job should be done. Maybe I don't want to do this work forever. I want to do other things. And eventually you found that.
100%.
I want to get into the fitness part, but just maybe I'm skipping a couple steps, but tell me, when somebody comes to you for golf specific training, is the one thing they're chasing more than anything else distance?
Yeah, it's always speed. The first thing is, I see these numbers on the Golf Channel or TrackMan data pulling up on the PGA Tour app, those kinds of things, and they're seeing how far these guys are hitting it on tour, and they're going, I'm nowhere near that. The other thing that you get a lot too is, when you're the not the long hitter in the group, you're seeing buddies out driving you. You want to catch up and then eventually surpass them. So that's the main driver of the phone calls, if you will, is that's the starting point. Yeah, a lot of people are looking for distance.
Of course, it's sexy. I get that part.
Oh yeah.
Now, how do we get, maybe just to say a lot in a little, how much of the chasing the club head speed, which leads to more distance, how much is strength versus flexibility? Because I think sometimes people get them wrong. What's the balance?
That's a great question. So it is individualized. So you'll hear me say a lot. It depends. I find that certain demographics, if you're 50 plus, more times than not, it's going to be a perfect combination of flexibility and strength. As on the younger side, it's not so much the flexibility. So think college, high school kids. I'm not too concerned with their ability to be mobile. They're typically pretty mobile. It's more a speed strength conversation at that point. So it depends on the age a bit.
And when you start, figuring out what the program is going to be, are your clients, are they all in on it, or are they sometimes like, well, I had this in mind? Like, how do you get them to come over to your side to where they really buy in?
Another great question. So buy-in is the biggest thing. It is a hard process. Typically, it starts off as you said, hey, this is what I want. And then I run an assessment through the Titles Performance Institute, which is a golf fitness-based assessment. And it gives me the limitations that are going to be typically mobility-based. So if we have any mobility restrictions, we start there. To get that buy-in after that assessment, I really use that assessment to drive home the point of, hey, look, if we can't get to this position, I don't care how strong you get, you're only going to be strong in this swing range. So for instance, in the backswing, if I can only get to this point in the backswing, it doesn't matter if I can't get that arc to be further back. You're not going to be able to generate a lot of club head speed with a really short backswing. It's not really possible physics wise.
So let's say, for example, I just can't get it all the way back. Are you going to try and get me to get it all the way back?
100%.
Or will you quit? Okay.
Yeah.
But what if I can't? What if we try, and then will we kind of like redefine like the jumping in point?
Another great point. Yeah. So I like to try to figure that out. It takes in my opinion, this is where it's as much of an art as it is a science. It takes some time to find out what the actual physical limitations of a client is versus what they present the day of. So if I start working with a client, typically I can see improvements in all those aspects before we start to see a plateau or where, hey, this is a real restriction. Let's throw a hypothetical out. Somebody has a rotator cuff tear and that thing's been torn once or twice before. We're not going to push that boundary too hard to where we, potentially put that person in a position where they shouldn't be, meaning they have so much rotation that they're pushing that previous injury at a point where it's not really worth it. The risk profile is too high. So
Tyler Hosey is our guest. I'm sorry, I interrupted. I just keep going. Keep going.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
All right. Tyler Hosey is our guest here on Party Time, My Golf Story, brought to you by Party Drinks. If you're looking for a drink alternative on the golf course to beer or hard seltzers or anything else, try a Party. And if your dream is to live on a golf course like Lakewood National Golf Course in the greater Sarasota area, Lakewood Ranch area, then Gene Walsh and Vince Visicaro from suncoastdreams.com. They got you all covered. It's a good time to buy. So Tyler, tell me this. Let's go back to playing golf. Did you become a pretty good golfer quickly?
I feel like unfortunately, I feel like I peaked young. Honestly, that's a funny conversation that I've had with my dad plenty of times over. I feel like I peaked a little bit on my younger side. I was at a better point in my career probably when I was 12 to 15 years old, somewhere in that range, right as high school was starting is kind of where I felt like I kind of peaked out in my golf career, honestly.
Well, how good did you get?
I think so. This is before the whole gin switch over. So it used to just be you plug it into the old analog computer. I think it was just called a regular handicap. I was probably about a 2 or a 3 in that handicap system. So that was from all the way back. So I was shooting, anywhere from your typical course rating. So your normal courses in the Sarasota area, probably shooting 74, 75, somewhere around there.
That's good golf. Have you broken par?
I have broke par a few times, but it definitely was not my normal.
Okay. But the first time you did it, I imagine you remember it very well.
Oh yeah. No, it was,
take me there.
Yeah. So I actually I went off on the back nine out at Calusa Lakes and started off pretty hot. Got myself to 2 under on the quote unquote on the back nine, right? So for me, that was always the tougher nine. And actually, rain rolled up and it was pretty nasty. So I knew that I couldn't count that full round as an under par round if I didn't finish it that day. So I actually waited until pretty much everything went through. I think there was a 5 or 6 hour delay, and if I remember correctly, because I was pretty young, I actually walked the back nine because the course was pretty much considered unplayable, but my dad knew the scenario and I had not broken par before. So I went out and walked the back nine solo. So,
nice. I mean, were the mosquitoes coming out? Was it getting dark at the end?
It was a summertime. Yeah, it was a summertime deal. So it was absolutely nasty. And yes, the whole place was shut down. I was pretty much the only one out there. So yeah, I was getting torn up and, powering through, and I actually ended up shooting 1 over on the back. So I shot 1 under par. So
yeah, you got it in.
Got it done.
And Dad was waiting for you.
Yeah. Papa Bear was ready to roll. He was actually more like in the car ready to go, and I was just tossing my bag in the golf shop.
Yeah, but that must have been a really good ride home.
Yeah, it was. It was a good talk. It was fun. It was the first time that, like you said, I've ever really gotten there, and that's a whole nother level of golf. And I've actually been able to talk to that about that a lot with my high school and college level players, because people get stuck in that 75 to 72 range a lot, and that's where you're really leveling up the game. But to get to the point of where you're shooting under par relatively consistently, it's a whole nother level of golf that I touched it once or twice, it felt like, and these kids are so elite at such a young age that we've been able to talk about the mental side of it too. It's been awesome.
All right, let's get into the mental side of it. Like how much your program is. I think I got a decent handle on the physical side of things. What about the mental side?
Yeah, so the mental side of it, the stuff that we tend to talk about a lot is, especially with my younger players, the higher level, Korn Ferry PGA Tour players, a lot of them, they have mental performance coaches. So really what we're touching on the mentality side is like really pounding the pavement in the gym and just trying to be locked in there. But the younger players that maybe they don't have that mental performance coach, or they don't have that outlet quite yet, we're talking a lot about how to frame an entire round and recall and go back through how that round went down, and where we probably lost focus at some point, or where we got frustrated, or where our expectations, we didn't capitalize on that par 5, and really what happened after that. And a lot of times these rounds, they kind of unfold a little bit during that time frame. So, the par 5, again, that you're supposed to capitalize on, you got to make birdie. The rest of the field probably caught up a stroke or two. If you make a bogey there, you come out the next tee and you feel like you got to fire away, and maybe it's not a very presentable hole to go after a driver off the tee box. Maybe that bunker comes in play, but you're feeling a little burnt, right? You got to get that stroke back. And this is where a lot of these high schoolers, we have to be a little bit more thoughtful, a little bit more mindful about how we approach that when things don't go down the way that we want them to, and how to keep a round together and not let it get away from you.
Well, how do you do that? Like, how do you sort of talk them off the ledge, or get that stinking thinking out of their head if they're stuck?
Yeah. So a lot of the times people will use some sort of like analogy or a saying, if you will, that they'll use when they step up. Really, what I try to relate to these youngins is that, look, you're going to get put in these situations when you feel that way, and how you play. And these are conversations that have gone on for 6 months plus that we talk about that. Yep, it happened again. Yep, it happened again. It starts to become, well, look, your swing's not broken because of one hole. You have to remind yourself that one shot does not define the rest of the round. You need to take a step back, take a breather. Sure, that's cliche, but quite literally, take a step back, count to 5, pause, and just go hit a golf shot. It's quite literally one shot at a time. It takes 3 or 4 good swings in a row, and all of a sudden you made that birdie back and you're back in the game again. And it's really just, honestly, it's really not getting too far ahead of yourself and letting the game develop as the round goes on, in my opinion, especially at the younger levels.
I think one of our guests in the past too, I call him Senor Cincuentas. Kyle Rote plays on the West Florida.
Yeah, I know Kyle.
Okay, so you know the backstory on Kyle, but for those that are not familiar, he and I caddied together at Concession. He has shot a 59 in competition and a 58 in a social round, and he's a really interesting.
That's legit.
Oh, it's totally legit. I've seen it up close. Of course, it's legit. But I love his honesty in his Instagram postings and talking about accepting failure and just knowing really at some point in the round, you're going to have a bad stretch. And usually it lasts a couple of holes. Even if you're playing you're just going to hit a bad patch. It's just too long of a game.
Yeah.
And so if you can kind of accept it and know it's going to be temporary if you allow it to be, then you're going to get through it. I mean, is what he's saying and what I'm thinking kind of what
that's
you're
exactly preaching? Yeah. It's kind of the weather the storm, right? Like let it pass. It's going to happen. It's an inevitable piece of the game of golf.
Right.
It just, these kids are so good. I mean, like they're so good. Their swings are so solid, in my opinion, that we're not really talking about golf at this point. We're talking about the player and what's going on between the 2 years. Seriously, that's I think that's what defines these kids' ability to go lower as time goes on.
They got to get comfortable being uncomfortable and realizing just because you're 7 under on your round, that's great. But get to 8 and 9, because if you're playing multiple rounds, that hand can go cold the next day.
So fast. That's something I literally had that conversation today. It's like, look, just because you had 2 or 3 birdies and you're 2 or 3 under to start a round, it's not the whole, that superstition of going, a couple under the first couple of holes. And, I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't think that's true at all. I think that's purely exactly what it is, superstition. I think the ability for a player to handle that mentally and say, I'm 3 under. Well, I have it right now, foot on the gas. And you have to be relentless when your game's at that point until otherwise proven, right? So I firmly believe that these kids that get cold feet when it happens, oh my gosh, I haven't been 3 under. I might be leading a tournament. I've never been here before. That's the inexperience. And then they all of a sudden start playing defensive golf when offensive was what was working. So
you're telling my story. I've had some good rounds where I'm like, let's just get it in.
Please let me just park the car without, exactly. I'm telling you from experience, like that's what I went through. I remember going through that. That's why I feel like I never got to the next level. I didn't know how to handle playing really good golf because I wasn't used to it.
Yeah. I mean, the only way you continue to play really good golf is you keep playing good golf, and then you expect more, but you don't get too far ahead, and you don't protect. It's like playing blackjack. If you got a strong hand, you got to double down, you got to split, you got to do whatever, because those cards can turn on you pretty quickly.
Absolutely.
So you love the game, but there were times that you didn't love the game.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah. So I was pretty much, I would say, in love with the game up until about that middle school time frame. I think I finished up my 8th grade year. We had a good stretch with the middle school team, so we won like the, as high as you can go. I think it was like basically just districts. They didn't let you go much further than that. Was kind of in that, 2 to 3 handicap range, felt really solid. Game was trending, but I had been playing baseball my whole life. And that was where I would say my real friend group is. And golf can be one of those weird sports where it's hard from a friend group standpoint, because especially when I was playing it wasn't super popular. It wasn't the coolest sport in the world to go do. So being immersed in this baseball community, it was something that I loved the physicality of it. I loved hanging out with my boys, spending time with the guys, that kind of thing, and traveling around the state playing baseball. For me, golf was, I think, something I maybe just also took for granted too, because it was something I had access to. I look back on that, and sometimes that crosses paths. But as I finished up that 8th grade year, I got into high school, and that's kind of when things went the other direction for me. Golf didn't become the sport that I just enjoyed going out to anymore. Genuinely, it got to the point of where it was a task that my mind was somewhere else. I was a freshman in high school, so I was all about hanging out with my buddies, girls were coming into the picture a little bit more. So I was wanting to go to the movies, all that kind of stuff.
So. Sounds like normal teenage stuff.
Yeah.
As well. And then fitness. When did you get the fitness bug? What was the tipping point there?
My basically that actually 8th grade year, my dad was like, "Hey, look, bud, you're about 100 pounds soaking wet, 5'5". I think baseball is going to be a rough go for you if we don't start training." And my dad was always kind of in the gym, so he kind of took me under his wing. That I think it was either 7th grade summer, or 8th grade summer. It was one of those like, we got to get ready for high school, bud. So we hammered the gym out, and then from there, I really fell in love with training. Actually, the baseball coach there, I'll give him a little shout out, Coach Velez, took me under his wing and actually took me to the YMCA with only one other kid, because we were the only dummies willing to do his workouts. And we hammered those workouts for I would say 2 years. And everybody else would go to the high school and train. So that's where the passion really just started taking away. Like I realized if I pushed hard, there was no other thing. There was no other feedback. It was, if I trained, I got stronger. If I trained, I got those results that I was looking for. And for the first time ever, it felt like I had like 100% control of the work that I was putting in was exactly the output I was getting in return. And I think that was pretty cool for the first time, because golf, sometimes you can put in a lot of work and not necessarily see a result. So that's where I fell in love with it.
Oh, I've had many a golf practice session where I do the work and then feel like crap after it because I hit it like crap.
Yeah.
But I've never had a workout that I didn't feel profoundly better after doing it. I mean, it's 100% guarantee you're going to feel better than leaving the gym than coming to the gym.
Absolutely.
So how did you marry the fitness with the golf? When did that come to fruition?
Yeah, that came to fruition actually probably about 3 or 4 years ago. I figured out the track that I wanted to go on after I think I finished up my senior year of high school, and I did a vocational school up in Tampa for personal training, and drove up and back to Tampa from, actually it was Venice. So it was about an hour and a half each way for 6 months straight, 5 days a week, and finished up there, and then took a position at a local physical therapy facility. And the guy that owned the facility, Alan Dalton down in Venice, he took me under his wing. It was incredible. I mean, the whole family was incredible. And they said, "Hey, look, if you like this thing, there's a way to be a professional trainer, like a real professional trainer, but you got to get a serious education. You're going to have to go back to school for this thing." And so they told me about this thing called exercise science or exercise physiology, also known as exercise kinesiology. And I kind of just went dead red on that. I was like, I got to do that. So I went back and did my associate's, bachelor's, and then got my master's degree at the University of South Florida. Once I finished all that up, I thought, I'm going to do this thing for college players. And so I did some internships at Division I schools. I started my own business after that because I said, "Hey, I want a better schedule and I want to be with my family." I actually ran from golf as long as I possibly could after high school. After that, kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, just not being able to get to the level that I really wanted to get to. About a year or two into owning my business, I just started realizing, man, this area right off the university here in Sarasota, University Parkway, this area is so rich for golf. I know golf. I've been around golf. Maybe it's time to kind of come back around full circle. And so I said, I'm gonna go all in on the golf thing. I really do have a passion for the game. I do love the game, and I want to help from a different angle. And so I just went all in on the exercise science portion of golf, and went from there about 3 years ago.
Yeah, you did it right, and it helps have some good clients.
Amazing
a couple
clients.
have been guests. Yes, Kevin Roy on the PGA Tour. Playing at the time of this recording is has a second and a third place finish.
Yeah, he's balling this year. Super happy for him.
And Big Mike Fasaki as well.
Yeah,
the mini tour legend. We all remember the
mini tour legend.
Oh, absolutely. And then the touching video when he's calling his daddy Monday qualified in and finally got to play on the PGA Tour and became friends with Justin Thomas. I mean, that was a beautiful thing. How'd you hook up with those guys?
Yeah. So we'll start with Mike because Mike was the first one. So actually, Mike and I, we go back to playing high school golf a little bit back and forth. He absolutely dominated me, by the way, rightfully so. But yeah, Mike played. Actually, I believe it was for Riverview back in the day, Riverview Rams, and so full circle. I went down the golf path. I kind of went all in on that. And I actually saw that the timing was quite literally when all that was happening is when I finally said, golf is the thing. Let's go for it. I reached out to him and he was finishing up his run I think he actually qualified for the Valspar. Had a really good run there. I think he missed a cut by literally one, if I remember correctly. And then he went out to the Valero as well. He got a sponsorship exemption there. And I said, hey, do your thing, but as soon as you're done, let's get after it. I think we can really see some improvements with your cardiovascular system and your endurance, so your ability to go later in tournaments, because the guy's electric. I mean, he literally can, one of the best ball strikers I've ever been able to watch in person. I mean, his ball striking is insane.
And so he's not afraid to go deep. He doesn't have those fears that a lot of others, but the physical side maybe needed some fine tuning.
Yeah, we definitely talked shop about that. And he said, hey, look, I'm not exactly where I was when I was in college, when I was in my peak. So let's get after trying to get me there. And so we actually trained together for, I think it was about 8 months to a year roughly. And it was tough because he actually had made the commitment Q school wise to really try to push for the Monday Qs for the PGA Tour, as well as playing conditional status on the Corn Ferry at the time. So he was constantly traveling. I mean, you want to talk about dedication? Guy was like literally living out of his car, just going place to place to place and just making it happen. And so we would literally FaceTime workouts and just try to find a way to see the progress that we wanted. And we got his endurance level up quite a bit. He was actually feeling a lot better later in rounds. And we dropped about 25, 30 pounds at the peak. And then, that was a fun journey for sure.
Now, Kevin, they're coming to you for better fitness, but even those guys are chasing ball speed. They're trying to hit all it farther.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin smashes it. What did you do for, I don't know, man. I'm just like, whoosh.
You look at him, he's like a tempo guy. Like you watch his swing and you're like, where does this come from? It's incredible. But yeah, I'll be honest, I was the one in his DMs. I slid into his DMs up when he was in Tampa. I was like, hey man, I know that you're up in the Tampa area, but if you ever make your way down here, I'd love to just do an assessment, just kind of, see what's going on. He's like, I'm going to be coming down there probably within a year or two. He has family that lives down in the area, and the Lakewood Ranch area is definitely an area that he knew he was going to be working towards. So, fast forward after, I think it was after the Corn Ferry, he had a good Corn Ferry year, ended up getting his card back. We started that off season. So, I'll tell you what, that dude is super locked in. He's on a whole nother level, but he reached out and he said, hey man, I got a little hip thing going on, a little trap thing going on. We need to get this thing figured out, but I need to level up and let's get after it. And he basically just left all the cards in my hands, which was awesome. You don't get that all the time. And so he put a lot of trust in me to just do my thing. And we got his ball speed up. I think last season he said he was smoothing right around 174 to 176, and then he could get it up when he needed it. But I think this season he said pretty realistically he's been seeing about 4 to 5 mile an hour more. So he's been hanging around 178 to 179, and then can get it up into the 80 to 82 when he needs it. So
translate that into just actual yards.
Yeah. So yardage ball speed, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's like 4 to 4.5 yards per. So let's call that 15 to 20 yards roughly.
That's a lot.
Give or take. Yeah.
That's a lot. I mean, extrapolate that over 18 holes and like you're shortening the course.
Yeah.
Are you playing?
Yeah.
Are you playing much golf now, Tyler?
So not really. I actually don't play a whole lot. So
do you feel like you're playing golf though? Like when you're working with golfers and working, you know what I mean? Because that's how I feel about caddying. I feel like I'm playing golf. I'm just not hitting the shots.
I feel more tapped into the game than I've actually ever been, ironically. So I think the way that you put that is pretty much exactly how I feel about it. I'm more in golf and more passionate about golf than I've literally ever been. Even when I was playing golf when I was younger, I love trying to facilitate the dream and get these people moving in the direction that they want to go. And golf just so happens to be the avenue. And golf is really starting to come back around on me. No pun intended, full swing. It's coming back around on me now. So
that's cool. Yeah. Tyler Hosey is our guest here on Party Time, My Golf Story, brought to you by the Golf Real Estate Pros, Gene Walsh and Vince Visicaro, suncoaststreams.com, and Party Drinks. Tell me about your wife. Does she understand the profound role that golf plays in your life?
My wife and I are the yin to the yang. So she knows that I've been around the game because, my father, she's obviously my dad, and knows that he's been around the golf game. We've been to the Masters. So she kind of knows the deal, but not really. She's the yin to the yang. She is in a whole nother world. She loves reading and, putting herself in a whole other place. So she's not very sports driven. So I think that's why it works so well, because I'm the opposite.
Hey. Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. So she doesn't even play? Doesn't play?
No. I actually, so she is known as the top golf phenom though, because she actually got 2 or 3 to go across the concrete that trickle over the edge. So she did crush it the time we went out to Top Golf.
That's cool.
A little inside joke with her and I. So if she watches this, I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Now you have a young daughter.
Yeah.
Tell me about her.
11 months old. She's changed my life in so many ways I've never felt before in my life. So it's been, man, she's the best, like literally the best. She's turning 1 already in about a month. And it's driven me to a whole nother level when it comes to wanting to support and supply and provide for the family, and also make sure that I'm doing even more than I ever thought I could before from a time management standpoint. So maximizing my clients to make sure, if the clients are taken care of, then my family's taken care of. So making sure I'm really supporting them to the max. And then if that's good, then making sure when I'm home, that light switch, I learned how to switch it a little bit better. I used to take work home with me a lot as a small business owner. So
we all did. Gives you purpose. Kids give you purpose. Is there golf in her future? How are you going to handle that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I really do want to get her an opportunity to try just about every sport. And that's something that I'm a huge advocate of, especially young. I actually tell that with my youngest junior players. I work with literally he was a 4-year-old, just turned 5. So I'm like, get him on the soccer field, get him on the golf course, get him playing flag football, get him in any dynamic of sport you can. The more variability you can give them in a sports experience young, even if you know that golf's going to be their thing, it really expands their ability to be an athlete down the road. When you specialize too early, it can actually be a really big hindrance and limitation.
Yeah, and the wear and tear on just like the same muscles. We see that with the specialization. Talk to an orthopedic surgeon; they'll tell you all about that. Tell me a great golf story or two. I'm sure you got a couple in your pocket.
All right, let's pull one. So, how far can I take these golf? What's the level of playfulness with these stories?
Well, this is the internet. You can use profanity. You can get cheeky. It's This is. Right. I wouldn't say it's a rated R podcast, but if you got to get rated R for a little while, yeah, go ahead. It's fine.
All right. We got a good one. So shout out to my high school buddy Adam, still one of my best buds back. He Yeah, man, this is a good one. All right, so we are playing. I don't know if anybody knows what an E9 is, but I'm sure a lot of people that are on this know what an E9.
Emergency 9.
Yeah, all right. Just gotta I gotta make sure.
Yeah, you got hurt in the bet, and you need a little
side wager.
A little encore. Yes, of course.
A little side wager. So we started doing some side bets, and not only financially, but a little bit of the ego side. So we did the whole, hey, if you lose this hole, you're going shirtless. And these are on some pretty nice courses. So you definitely get yourself in a little bit of trouble doing this. So we kind of go down the whole pathway. And so the final pathway was the whole pants down deal. So my best buddy basically had to play an entire 2 or 3 holes, like literally pants trousers down when we were like 17 years old. Just absolutely one of the weirdest riot.
Hold on. I mean, like sans boxer shorts and underwear. I mean, like
no, boxers were on. Monty? Yeah. No. I couldn't quite. Yeah, we're not going that far. That's a little too far for me. But hey,
that's good.
I'm sure there's stories out there, but that was a pretty funny one.
I didn't know a bet existed, but I guess you could bet anything. I thought that was just if the men didn't reach the ladies' tee, the unit had to be removed from the fly. So that I've never actually seen that. Oh, you have? I hear everybody talk about it, but I've never actually seen it pulled off. It's to me, it's almost like I went to pick a girl up and her dad was cleaning his gun while I picked her up. That's never happened. That's bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on anybody that's ever told that story. And
that actually literally happened to me, by the way. Literally happened to me. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
How did that date end up? I mean,
I married her. I married her.
Oh, for real? Oh, wait a minute. He put the fear of God in you with the gun, and you're married.
He was 25 plus years on the SWAT team. So he was, but actually he did it purely like just seeing how funny it would be. And then we all had like the best laugh about it. And he was just like, he's like the nicest guy ever. And now I actually enjoy being in that space and shooting guns and stuff. So kind of full circle on that one.
Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting that one, but he's a cop. All right. So like he might have a reason to be cleaning his gun as opposed to some guy that's just giving you the hairy eyeball saying you better not lay a hand on my dog.
That's why the story is kind of funny because like literally he was literally putting it away. Like he was actually done for the day. So it's kind of, you got to embellish a little bit, right?
All right. Yeah, that's good one. Any others or we can just leave it with the Adam story playing trouser?
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. Trying to think of like some really funny. So it's slippery carts in Florida. Any high school kid knows that if you get an opportunity to get a cart when it's a little slippery out, things get a little dicey.
That was our car before we were able to drive. We drove them like cars and didn't realize how dangerous they could be. Continue.
Absolutely, yeah. So we were ripping these bad boys on the hills and. We had a couple close calls where the cart, like quite literally, kind of went up onto that type situation. Couple drinks fall out. That ordeal. Literally water, not drinking. And we finally get to like I think it was number 17 out at Calusa, and it was starting to rain pretty good, and we sent one up the hill and like totally kind of e-braked, like literally e-braked it, and it actually did a full like sent me and my buddy out of the cart. And like the thing just kind of went, and luckily it didn't end up being one of those ones where you have to get out of the water. Like I would have never heard the end of it. It's like my dad's a head pro, that kind of thing. But it was kind of one of those, like we all looked at each other and just went like full buddy, like, hey man, like we're going to get this cart back in order. Like we kind of, popped a couple pieces back in but the cart did kind of do a good little tumble. I can't believe it didn't actually have real defacement. Like, so that was,
we did that all the time at my club growing up. It's just like not that we play bumper cars on purpose, but it just kind of happens sort of by accident. And then we'd have to move that cart to the back of the barn and act like we had no way.
it happens. So yeah,
we weren't fooling anybody. They probably knew all along.
100%.
Hey, Tyler, we're getting toward the end here,
Yep.
and what can aside from coming to see you with a personal workout, if somebody just wants to try something new, they're playing golf tomorrow, and they just want to do something, just a little thing that they can handle that might make a difference in their round of golf. What would it be?
Yeah, I always say a good solid warm up is probably the best way to go. There's no better way to go out to the golf course with just like having a little bit of pre-activation before you go out there. I think one of the guys that you see all the time, especially on the Champions Tour, I do butcher his name, but he's the guy that always has the big cigar with the poofy hair. Jimenez, I want to say is how you pronounce it. So he's always got the super slick, like he's as the young kids tell me all the time, he's got the aura, he's got something around him where he's just.
Well, he's got the orange afro, sometimes ponytail, Miguel Angel Cabrera.
Yeah.
He's got the saddle shoes.
There we go. We
need the cigar going while we're doing like the polo thing that he's doing.
I feel like if you've got that going on, you're already putting the fear of God in everybody else if you got the cigar rolling. But I'm rolling without the cigars, the health fitness guy, but hey, I get it. But yeah, good warm up. I mean, he has got one of the just kind of the smoothest, easiest warm-ups. He's got the little hips. He pulls the club under the foot, kind of just, he's talking to people and he's just so nonchalant, but truthfully, a good warm-up is always a good way to go. So
good warm-up, good stretch.
Yeah, for sure.
Keep it simple. Tyler, really enjoyed the conversation. And the baby made it all the way through, so you didn't talk too loud. She's right next door, right?
Yeah, I was going to say no text messages, so we're good.
All right, buddy. Hey, I wish you nothing but the best with your business, and let's play golf sometime. All right.
You know what? I probably need to do that. It's been about 2.5 years. Last time I played out at Gator Creek, and I think I shot like 84, 85, not playing for 2 or 3 years before that. So probably should get out there again.
Well, there are a lot of distractions at Gator Creek. Those in the Sarasota area know what it is. It's an all men's club. Pretty much anything goes. We'll give you a nice
little shout there.
is that a Gator Creek shirt?
Yeah. Got me a little Gator logo there. So
oh, very nice.
Shout out.
Maybe we'll have you over at Lakewood National. We'll play with the Roys, Jim and Kevin Roy. Nice social. How's that sound?
They're the best. Yeah. I would 100% have to go out for that one for sure.
Okay. All right. I'm going to get on it and I'll get back to you on that. Tyler Hosey's been our guest here. He is the founder of Golf Fitness, TSC Sports Performance, golf fitness instructor. For information about him, you can find him online at the information has been texting across or moving across the screen the whole show. All right. What is it? Give it to me real quickly, Tyler. I'm having trouble seeing it with my eyes.
So the name of the business, just make sure. So TSC Fit is the name of the business. And then if you guys want to find it on Google, it's literally golf fitness training. That's the name for local.
Good. Sounds good. For Tyler Hosey, I'm Kevin Walsh. Big thanks to our title sponsor, Party Drinks. If you're looking for a drink alternative, try a Party. And the Golf Real Estate Pros of Gene Walsh and Vince Vizzacaro, SuncoastDreams.com, a division of Fine Properties in the greater Sarasota area. For Tyler Hosey, I'm Kevin Walsh. We'll see you again next time on Party Time, My Golf Story.
You've been listening to It's Party Time, My Golf Story, brought to you by Party Drinks. Classically designed golf drinks for golfers by golfers, and the Golf Real Estate Pros Gene Walsh and Vince Vizzacaro. For your Southwest Florida real estate needs, check them out at suncoastdreams.com or call 941-220-4000.